Hello and welcome everyone to another edition of Tour Guides Live here from the campus of Ohio University. This is BJ Heidelbaugh, and I currently serve as the Associate Director for Visits and Events, and we are very proud and happy to welcome you to campus virtually, even in this evening. With us tonight is Brad, and Brad is going to be your wonderful host, and tonight the focus is Baker University Center. And before we get started, I just want to say, if you have questions for Brad, if you see something that you want to know a little bit more about as we're taking this tour tonight, you can use those in the chat and on the comments to ask those questions, and we will be sure to filter that through Brad. And again, welcome. And Brad, take us away.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that introduction, BJ. Once again, welcome into the Tour Guide Live. If this is your first Tour Guide Live, I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Brad. I am a senior studying journalism with a minor in sport management. I am from the Canton, Ohio area, but obviously, as you can tell, I'm in Athens right now. And a fun fact about myself is I was just in the most recent OU commercial getting my hair dyed green. So obviously, that was a non-permanent dye, but I always like to tell people that. So before we actually go inside Baker Center, I am going to give you kind of a rundown of the area in which we are in right now, on where Baker is in location to campus. So this is the top of the fourth floor, and if you were to exit and continue going down the street, you would go to Court Street. And for those of you who are and who are not familiar, that's where all of our shops, eateries, boutiques, bookstores, everything is located up there. And in case you were wondering, from the College Green Tour Guide Live that we had a couple of weeks ago, that is Scripps Hall right across the street. Behind that would be Scripps Amphitheater, and then also where Cutler Hall is, the first ever building at OU. And if you continue down the street, it's called Park Place Street. That is where the front of our library is. Showed off kind of the back part of it on the first ever Tour Guide Live on College Green. So just goes to show that Baker Center, our student union, is essentially in the center of campus. So once again, this is just kind of a one-man routine, just me, for those of you who didn't know. So if there's any technical difficulties, I pre-apologize for anything. But it's a little chilly out here, so I am now going to take a step inside Baker Center. Just some first things about Baker. It is 5 floors in its entirety, with escalators ranging from the first floor all the way up to the 4th. But before we talk about the 4th floor, we're going to mention this 5th floor, which you could take either by the stairs or elevator. That's where our Career Leadership and Development Center is. And what the Career Leadership and Development Center does is that is where you'll get all of your professional needs done. So whether it be check your resume, connect you with our incredible alumni network, or even they'll allow you to rent some professional attire throughout the CLDC. So that's located on the 5th floor of Baker Center. So highly would recommend checking that area out. But bumping it down to where we are now, we are on the 4th floor in which we had just entered. And I am a little chilly right now. Wish it was open, but you could check out our front room coffee house, which is located down in this corner. They serve Starbucks coffee, also some delicious bakery treats, and they will host open mic nights, comedy nights, areas like that to show off some of our student talent. If you are brave enough to take on the open mic, you can do that at front room coffee shop. But as we move along the 4th floor a little bit, the 4th floor will provide some incredible views, not only of the inside of Baker, but also the exterior of Baker as well. The first thing on our agenda here, this is our post office that's on campus, our U.S. Post Office on the 4th floor. And you can see right now all of these socially distant signs asking everybody to hang right. And we'll showcase some student art as well. So any of the student art that you'll be seeing, student paintings along the escalators, is all going to be by either students or any of our alums as well. So we love to show off our student work, and that is very predominant within Baker Center. And if you remember earlier, if you have any questions, feel free to funnel those in, and then BJ will relay them towards me. But we are now going to head down the hallway of Baker Ballroom. Fortunately, we cannot show you Baker Ballroom right now, but what's really cool about this hallway is it does showcase all of the presidents of Ohio University. So we will start out with just the first couple presidents and the paintings, as it does show the paintings of every single one of our presidents. Currently, President Dwayne Nellis is our president at OU, and actually his first year as president was my first year as a student, which I think is pretty cool, because in the 4 years I've grown as a student, I'm sure he's grown in the 4 years as the president at OU. So, and as I mentioned in another tour guide live, he's very personable, loves seeing President Nellis around campus and asking him a whole lot of questions. But what's a really cool view right here, we'll walk up towards the window, is if we do have some open study area over to the right on Baker, a lot of outdoor and indoor, and then you can see over towards our football field, over at Grover Center, our convocation center, a nice overlook of Athens through those windows. So we'll continue to move around the fourth floor just a little bit, as we have our women's center located right here. So if women need any resources, any campus needs, anything of that sort, feel free to check that out. One of our art galleries. And that just about wraps it up to the fourth floor. So now I'm going to take the escalators down to the third floor next. You're just joining us a little bit late. We're showing off Baker Center right now on campus at Ohio University. This is our student union. So a lot of things are going to be going down in Baker. We just showcased the fourth floor. You can watch this as a rewind. The link will stay up if you want to watch it later on. If you have any questions, feel free to throw them in, and BJ will relay them to me if the question kind of pertains to me. So as we come down a little bit onto the fourth floor, or the third floor, this is more of our office floor. So you'll notice over to the right, we will have our campus involvement center. So this is where all the 600 plus clubs and organizations will be run through this office. So anything from a crack club, business club, or our 3 Harry Potter clubs will be ran through our campus involvement center. We also have our LGBTQ centers over on the third floor, as well as student government. And then also on the other side of the third floor, the escalators are actually being repaired. Some of them are. So in case you're wondering what that yellow stuff is. But back to the offices, this is our sorority and fraternity life or Greek life offices for either our social or professional fraternities will all be housed within these Greek life offices. And then we'll continue to head down to the second floor now in Baker. And Greek life, for those wondering, makes up for about 15% of our student population at OU. So it's not super relevant, also not irrelevant as well. Personally, I am not in Greek life and I've loved my experience at OU, but I do know some students that are in Greek life and they absolutely love their experience as well. And as we make our way down to the second room, we have an entire conference rooms areas. This is where a lot of our student organizations will hold meetings. Various events will be hosted throughout these conference rooms. And then we'll come back into the left corner at Baker Theater. So Baker Theater is just kind of your general theater space. I got to see a panel last year, a college football panel, as the 150th anniversary of college football was last season. And the only game to be played on the exact date in which college football started was when we played Miami University. Unfortunately lost that game, but they held a panel with ESPN broadcasters, writers, and other sports figures. The college football playoff commissioner was here, the MAC commissioner was here, and they held a big panel within Baker Theater. So that was an awesome experience. I also got to take a picture with the college football playoff trophy, which Athens native Joe Burrow ended up winning for LSU. And then this is a cool little mural of Athens at the moment. And we have another art gallery right along this area too. So in case your parents come to visit you and you have class, that is where I would recommend sending them, because there's typically some really cool art inside of there that they can check out, a lot of student work too. And also on the second floor, we do have our multicultural center, which is located right here. So for any of our multicultural students, if they need any resources, any of their advisors help accumulating them into campus, that is where they can go.
Hey, Brad.
Yeah.
We do have a question that's rolled in from Facebook. And I
Okay.
don't even know if this is a golden oldie from back when I was there.
Yeah.
Erica wants to know if there's still a bowling alley in the basement.
So there is not. And in fact, Baker Center got moved in 2007. It used to be where Schoonover Center is, our college of communication. So that got transformed a little bit. And well back when, before this Baker Center was built, Schoonover Center actually used to be Baker, where your student union was. And as one of our alums said in the comments, they did have a bowling alley in the basement. Unfortunately, in this building, they do not, which is kind of a little bit of a bummer, but there is one a 5-minute walk from campus, just off campus. But that is an awesome question. Thank you for bringing that up. We are now entering onto the first floor, as this is West 82, one of our dining options. This is where more of a cafeteria style, grab and go, burgers, fries, chicken nuggets. They have a killer breakfast burrito that I would frequently get every Thursday morning. Last year, I don't know why I would every Thursday, why that was my kind of reward for a Thursday, but it was. It was really tasty. And then this is Bobcat Depot. This is where you can get all of your Bobcat apparel, swag, electronics. And what's nice about Bobcat Depot is if you purchase through them, they will actually repair your electronic at no cost as long as they don't have to order the part. In that case, you will have to pay for it. But that works great for me because personally, I'm kind of tech savvy, but once my computer crashes, I have no idea what to do from there. So it's super nice to have the people at Bobcat Depot to help out in that instance. And then also on the first floor, we have a lot of hangout spots. Right now, there's covers over them, but there's pool tables along the first floor with some TVs all around it. So if you need somewhere to hang out on a weeknight, weekend, you can play pool inside of Baker. That's at no cost. You'll just have to ask the event people on the fourth floor, at the fourth floor desk, for all of that equipment. And then here is Latitude 39, our sit-down style restaurant within Baker. So that is super nice to have because we don't have to worry about driving, walking uptown, anything like that, to experience some really fine dining, which Latitude 39 has to offer. Which personally, I had a blast going to Latitude 39 my first year. My friends and I would always go during the finals week to kind of relax and de-stress and eat some really good grub and enjoy each other's company. So that is what I thoroughly enjoyed about Latitude 39. And now we're going to head. Yes, BJ.
Hey, we do have another question from the audience. They would like to know what is your favorite study spot in Baker?
Favorite study spot in Baker would have to be up on the fourth floor. If you all remember where I showed you where that hallway of the office of the presidents are located, that is a great quiet spot when the weather isn't too nice. But when the weather is great out, I love to either hang out at the bottom on the first floor in one of those outdoor settings, or where I started today, up on the fourth floor. They have a lot of tables and chairs outside of there. Those are great spots because I can say hi to people as they walk by, anything like that. And also get to sit outside when the weather is really nice. So great question.
Another question for you is of the dining options that you showed today, are those available on a student dining hall plan?
Yeah.
Student dining plan.
Yes, they would be available on a student dining plan, as well as you can use any other sort of currency, whether you use Bobcat Cash, which is like our campus currency that you can load money on from an online account, or if you have the Flex meal plan, you can use your Flex points at West 82 or Latitude 39. Awesome questions.
There was another question, and I will go ahead and field that question. And it was, is campus open for visiting? We do have a few more days of visiting campus available if you are watching this on December 8th. If you're watching it live, there are a few. We are doing some limited on-campus visits, and I would encourage you to check out our visits options at ohio.edu/visits. So check that out, and we will be reintroducing them beginning about mid-January too. So if you haven't had the opportunity to come visit campus and are just enjoying these tour guide lives with Brad, hopefully we can get you on campus sometime very soon in the near future.
And something I had failed to mention, BJ, and something that just came back to mind was on the fourth floor when I was showing off Baker Ballroom, that hosts the major events that we'll have on campus, such as the senior send-off, our 12-hour dance marathon known as Bobcat, which all of the money goes towards the Ronald McDonald House in Columbus. I've had the opportunity to MC that event last year, and now I'm seeing it again, although it won't be held in Baker Theater this year because of the pandemic. That is an awesome thing that you should try to be a part of if you decide to come to OU. And we also have our throwback concert once a year at Baker Theater. 2 years ago, we had Sean Kingston come to campus, and last year we had Jesse McCartney come to campus. And I had an absolute blast going to both of those events inside Baker Theater, or inside of Baker Ballroom, beg your pardon. But that just about wraps it up for me, y'all. Unless there's any final questions, BJ.
There doesn't seem to be any questions rolling in at the moment. Oh, looks like we do have one more question coming in. 1 second. Does the meal plan accommodate dietary restrictions? I'll let you go ahead and start that. And if you need some backup, I'll pitch hit.
Yeah, it does. So with our meal plan in general, you are able to eat at, it kind of depends on which meal plan you have, but I'm going to break it down just based off our different dining halls and dining options. So each one of our halls and options are going to provide a menu online every single day for every single thing that they offer, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And you can also see different menus for West 82 and Longitude 39. So within those, they will say what kind of dietary nutrients are inside each. So whether it's vegan, gluten-free, anything of that sort, which we have a ton of those different options at each one of our halls and dining options. And lastly, if you do feel the need to reach out to our campus nutritionist, she is very nice. I had a friend my freshman year that was allergic to a lot of things. He sat down with her the second day he was on campus, and she helped him kind of figure out his meal plan and meal strategy on where to go to eat on certain days to make sure that he wasn't having any medical setbacks. So hopefully that answers your question. And BJ, if you have anything to add, feel free.
Yeah, I was just going to add one quick thing. One thing to know about the food on campus is that, everything is made right there on campus. So if you do have any of those dietary restrictions, we know exactly what goes in that food. It's prepared right there on campus. Everything down to the salad dressings themselves are prepared there fresh on campus. Athens is really big on a program they like to call the 30-mile meal. So we do try to locally source everything we possibly can. There's a local dairy we source milk and dairy products from, and also even for vegan options, I know we get tofu out of Cleveland. So we do try to do local, state, and then as close as we can to do that, help out with sustainability and all of those wonderful things that goes along with that. Another question did roll in. What is the outdoor temperature right now?
I think it is around 30 degrees outside right now. Gladly head out and exit on the first floor for you all, as it's definitely a crisp 30 degrees, as I said, around, and there's no wind, there is no precipitation. So it's just one of those steady colds. And I tell you what, you can see it on my face. The sky is stunning tonight, as this is just outside of the first floor outside of Baker. That is our ice hockey rink across the way. And then Grover Center, if you follow along the sidewalk where our College of Health Science and Professions are all located.
Well, that is a beautiful, beautiful view. And I know if alums who are watching this or students that are home seeing this now, they're all going to be very jealous of you, as I am. Looks like we do have another question. What are some of the popular majors at Ohio now? And again, I can help you if you need some help with that.
Yeah, I'm going to go strictly because I know, BJ, I'm sure you have the numbers and dealing with all of the students. You'll certainly be able to give it more statistical input. But just based off people I've talked to, people I've been around, I know our communications field is certainly big and always growing. Nursing tends to be a very popular major, as well as business and engineering. Personally, is what I hear is pretty popular. But BJ, I'm sure you'll have more info on that.
I think you nailed it. I think, we do have over 250 majors and they are wide and varied. And, we do a lot of things very, very well at Ohio University. And I think you hit some of the more populated programs. This is an important question, Brad. You ready?
Yep.
They want to know, is the burrito buggy still there?
Okay, so this is actually a concern of mine, to be completely honest. I have yet to see the burrito buggy this school year, but with that being said, to all the burrito buggy fans, just like myself, I have not seen any of the other food trucks so far this year. So I'm crossing my fingers that they're just staying out of the realm because of the pandemic, and then come spring semester or next year, the burrito buggy will be back, hopefully. But the last time I had seen the burrito buggy was before we all went on lockdown on spring semester last year.
So another question, someone may have joined just a little bit late and they'd like to know, could you repeat what your major is?
Yeah, certainly. So my major is journalism with a minor in sport management. And I'm on the news and information track, looking to get into the broadcast realm of things.
Okay, a couple more questions. They're coming in hot and fast now. So what did your classes currently look like on campus for this past fall? What did your classes look like?
Mine looked right through my computer screen. I was not in the phase 1 or phase 2 group of students. All of my classes were virtual and online. But I do know that our phase 1 was for a certain group of students to come back earlier in the school year, and then phase 2 allowed more students to come through on campus. I don't know the exact specifics. That's why I was hoping I can throw it over to BJ for something like that.
Yeah, I'll help you out there. Yeah, so we did do a phased return, like Brad said. A lot of it was very, directed return to campus, that majors that focused on lab works and things of that nature. So there were a lot of health sciences, and we did graduate nurses a little bit earlier so that they could get out in the field and help out with the pandemic and things of that nature. But it was very, directed on the majors that we did have return earlier. And so that was part of that phased return. But thank you, Brad, for sharing. A couple more. I can just go ahead and take this, and then maybe you can expand on it a little bit. The question was, are freshmen required to stay in residence halls their first year? We do have a 2-year residence requirement at Ohio University. And Brad, just why don't you give a little bit of flavor on that and say where you may have stayed your first year?
Yeah, so for all of the alums watching, I lived in Gammersfelter Hall, or for all of those that are thinking about coming, maybe have visited campus a time or two. My first year, I lived in Gammersfelter Hall, which is the traditional style. And then in my second year, I lived in Carr Hall, which is in the suite styles that were just built about 3 or 4 years ago, which are available to our second year students. And absolutely loved my time living on campus. Loved living next to dining halls. Loved being less than a 3-minute walk from our rec center. That was all phenomenal, as I live off campus now.
Okay, I got another question here for you. They'd like to know, is campus a skate-friendly place?
Yes, it is definitely a skate-friendly place. As actually, we have a skate park located on the on South Green, which is one of our 3 residential greens. It's a very, very small skate park, but it is there for skaters. And I certainly see, when classes is normally in session, I see people skating around campus all the time. There's a couple of hills that I would really not recommend trying to skate up or down, but in the flatter areas of campus, I certainly see people skating a lot. Mm-hmm.
And there is a little bit of a larger skate park in Athens, a little bit further away from campus at the Athens Community Center as well.
Yes.
Okay. Looks like we may have one more question coming in. Nope, no more questions. So, Brad, I'll just say thank you so much for taking us on this stroll through Baker Center and letting us see that beautiful beginning of a sunset there over campus. And I'm going to let you go ahead and close us out.
Of course. Thank you all for tuning in, whether it's been tonight or in the other tour guide lives. It's been an absolute blast bringing these to you, whether you're a prospective student, alum, or maybe just someone that wants to see Athens and its beauty that we have on our campus. It's been really fun showing you our campus. And once again, thanks for joining us and have a beautiful night.